Ivory Coast. We go back and wait for the next bus. A few hours later, a bus arrives from Sikasso.
What about all the boys? What about the boys as well?
In the chaos around the bus, the children walk away. The traffickers chase after them and surround them on their motorbikes. They will transport them across the border. We follow the traffickers via the unofficial back road. Shortly after, we find a boy who was smuggled across by a trafficker. Soon the boy will be transported further south. We leave Pogo in the northern part of the Ivory Coast, an area controlled by local militias who cooperate with the traffickers. Begin to talk about us. Researching the cocoa industry can be dangerous. On April the 16th, 2004, French-Canadian journalist Guy-André Kiefer was kidnapped in a parking lot on the Ivory Coast. He was doing a story about bribery and the laundering of cocoa money in the Ivorian government. He has never been found, and the case is still unsolved. We say goodbye to Yushao Traore and send our new helpers undercover in the Ivory Coast.
Just use it like this.
Their job is to visit cocoa plantations and see if children work there. While they're going over land, we fly to the cocoa capital of Abidjan in the south. largest chocolate manufacturers. Here we find Nestle, Cargill, ADM, and Barry Cannibal, who all have their head offices here with several hundred employees. 42% of the world's cocoa production comes from the Ivory Coast. Together, these companies buy almost the entire production. In Abidjan, we meet Ange Aboa. He's a journalist for Reuters and has studied the industry for years. He describes the route from a random cocoa plantation to the chocolate manufacturer. It all starts at a cocoa plantation. The cocoa pods are harvested and the beans are dried in the sun. Then the cocoa beans are bought by intermediaries at €1 a kilo. They sell them to national exporters. The beans are then washed, packed and sold. Now the price is €2.50 a kilo. From the stock exchange, the cocoa is sold on to the chocolate companies. The companies turn them into cocoa powder or cocoa butter. The chocolate manufacturers make chocolate. A kilo of cocoa at €1 for the farmer becomes 40 chocolate bars. We are meeting the third largest cocoa exporter, South Cacao. They export to the US and Europe. They make a profit of more than €135 million a year. These cocoa sacks have arrived from a halfway station in the area. The cocoa will later be delivered to Nestle, among others.
Tout d'abord, il faut que vous sachiez une chose. Moi, personnellement, je suis né dans le cacao. Et j'ai jamais trouvé un enfant de 10 ans, de 15 ans, de 16 ans, ou bien de 13 ans travailler dans une plantation. Il n'y a pas d'enfants dans les plantations.
Our undercover researchers have reached a cocoa plantation in the north of the Ivory Coast. They see several children. Some carry machetes for harvesting the cocoa pods.
Je peux rassurer le monde entier. Le monde entier. C'est pas seulement l'Amérique ou l'Europe. Qu'aujourd'hui, la Côte d'Ivoire est un pays où il n'y a pas des enfants esclaves dans les plantations. Il n'y a pas des enfants qui travaillent dans les plantations. On a vérifié, on a mis des comités en place pour suivre et jusqu'aujourd'hui, on n'a pas eu un seul rapport qui nous dit qu'il y a des enfants esclaves. Et même dans les frontières.
So you don't think that the children from Mali and Burkina Faso are being trafficked to the Ivory Coast to work in the cocoa plantation?
Non, 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 non. Nous sommes premiers producteurs de cacao. Nous sommes premiers producteurs de cacao. Et si on n'achète plus le cacao, vous savez un peu que c'est quel désastre ça va créer au monde. Donc aujourd'hui, il ne faut pas jouer avec ces mots-là. Je pense qu'on a les preuves, on peut venir voir. Il n'y a pas des enfants esclaves dans les plantations.
Ali Lakis is one of the world's largest cocoa exporters. He sells cocoa to Nestle, among others. He is adamant there is neither trafficking nor child labor in the Ivory Coast. We head back to Abidjan. highest Ivorian government levels were invited to meet the man officially in charge of the fight against child trafficking. He is the president's right-hand man and has asked for a meeting because he has heard about our investigation.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you, and you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What are you doing down here?
Documentary about the cocoa business and about the problems which has been in the cocoa sector.
Which problem? Which one? Which one?
Which one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The children who is.
The child here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But you know about the problem.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem because I mean we know what's happening, so we know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's no more a problem.
Yes.
That's not my office.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Monsieur.
It's more comfortable. Okay. To sit down. I went to the north part of Ivory Coast, the borders up next to Sigua. The traffickers just, take the children and go through the back road.
But honestly, between you and me, okay, the cocoa crop, starts in October and finish in March. So if you see people coming in July, September, October, it's not for cocoa. There's no cocoa around, so it's not a work in the cocoa farms. What is it about? I mean, there's people here, Côte d'Ivoire. It's like, for those countries, when they're on vacation, they come. There's what we say in French, colonie de vacances. They're coming in Côte d'Ivoire.
Okay, so they're there for vacation. Isn't that great? Yeah, exactly.
I thought he was against child. Isn't he trying
Yeah, he's the government official, the cabinet level advisor about this issue in Côte d'Ivoire.
But he claims that he stopped it so that.
Yeah, so they know what's happening, they've dealt with it, it's all good. And anyway, so there's another 20 minutes where they follow these different leads that have other footage, and I invite you to watch it. It's on YouTube and it's embedded in the PowerPoint, so you can watch the rest of it.
Is that basically happening at the large scale plantations that sell to the major companies, like the chocolate you've been sampling, is that from smaller farms?
Yeah, and that's one issue, that fine chocolate, there's very low representation of African cacao in the fine chocolate that's being made. And people are trying to work with farms and get things going, like in Tanzania and some other places. There's some very nice cacao that's coming out of there, but they've been under this other system of producing high bulk, generally, not the highest quality necessarily. Oh yeah. Okay, thank you. See you next week. Have a good weekend.